Wow, what a week. It is a lot that has happened, with the NBA draft and many other things. We're going to cover it all in this video right now. I'm going to start off with the news of the day, basically. Chris Paul was traded in a monster deal for Jordan Poole, Golden State. Now, I personally think when Jordan Poole is on, like when he's on, he looks like a top 10 NBA player. The problem is he's as consistent as a McDonald's ice cream machine. I mean, seriously, since Draymond made him check in, he has not been the same player. And for good reason, we've covered this on this channel before. Now, what I don't like in the deal is that Chris Paul went from the Washington Wizards to the Golden State Warriors. I think Chris Paul fits in perfectly. But what I don't like about the deal is they got basically fleeced. The new GM, Dunleavy, NBA player, he wants to, make a name for himself, I'm sure, in his first big trade. I think he gave too much. Like I said, Jordan Poole really can be a superstar. Like he can take a next jump. He's only 24 years old. He's on $100 million something dollar contract. He didn't get that because he was some scrub. He's actually really, really good. So to me, Jordan Poole has a higher ceiling right now than Chris Paul does at right now in his current state. Chris Paul is maybe a year or 2 years from retiring. You have a Jordan Poole that's 10, 12 years that can be in the NBA if he gets some consistency and actually matures. So you're telling me you're going to trade your like $100 million player to the Washington Wizards and give the Wizards picks? Oh, that's unacceptable, Dunleavy. I think you got fleeced. I definitely think the Wizards won that deal hands down. Now, I love Chris Paul on the Warriors. I think he fits with them. People are saying he's going to be a starter. I really don't see that unless, injuries happen. To me, I really feel like he's going to be in an augmented Iguodala role because Iggy just retired. You didn't see Iguodala a lot. I really don't think you're going to see Chris Paul that much. I know he wants to play, but I feel like they're really going to not only hold back his minutes, but maybe hold back some games just to make sure he keeps fresh. Phoenix did it this past season. They wanted him in the playoffs to be as fresh as possible, and he honestly, by the time they got eliminated, he wasn't really a factor. But here they're able to hide him a little bit more. He definitely upgrades their bench, their second unit. I think he fits in perfect. Steph can play off the ball naturally. Clay could play off the ball. They had catch and shoot. And the thing is, he's a threat as well. A lot of times the Warriors could not get back to where they were because Jordan Poole the year prior when they won the championship would help them out in so many ways. Not only with the three ball, he can drive the ball and get his own shot and make his own shot. Of course, that fell off a cliff when he got his, eye knocked in. But that's not gonna happen so much with Chris Paul. Chris Paul don't care. It's like, man, whatever. Rondo punched him in his shit. He was fine. He's still an all-star. He's still a Hall of Fame player. Chris Paul can get his own shot and he doesn't need anybody to get it for him, and he's way more consistent, always has. This would be such a great move for the Warriors if they didn't give up Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole is a huge value loss. It really, really is. So I think Mike Dunleavy got fleeced. He's a rookie, but here we go. Now for the Wizards, I see why they make this deal, but honestly, I'm like, y'all didn't really have to trade Bradley Beal. To me, y'all traded responsible Bradley Beal for irresponsible Bradley Beal. When I see Bradley Beal, he reminds me a lot of Jordan Poole, just with a whole lot more maturity. If he matures, and I'm talking about Jordan Poole, he will be a up there player. Really must see TV. I don't know if he can carry a franchise, but definitely on the Warriors, he could have blossomed into what he could be, $100 million plus player, maybe a $200 million plus player. The Wizards have not shown consistency at building around their superstar, especially having Bradley Beal as a good example. But they're going to need more pieces. I don't think Jordan Poole right now is constructed can carry a franchise by himself. We're going to see. I could be proven wrong, but if he gets some people around him that can share the weight And I know he can be consistent. I know he wants a fresh start, and he's all the way across the country, not worrying about that other stuff that just happened. And he's in the DC area with a bunch of baddies. Okay, you know Jordan Poole love them baddies, love playing in front of them baddies. So I think he can do well. The next subject I want to just touch on briefly is Lonzo Ball. Chicago Bulls have already ruled him out for next season. It's just such a shame. I think, me personally, I think his career is over. You talk about Damon Stoudemire's, and the spectrum is Stoudemire to Sean Livingston. All right, Sean Livingston had a horrible leg injury. Paul George had a horrible leg injury, and they were able to fight their way back to where they are. But the thing is, they didn't have chronic knee issues leading up to their tragic event. Lonzo is much like Stoudemire to me in my eyes. There was just this knee issue night in, night out, and he has already been ruled out for the next season. This is not looking good to me. There's no way the Chicago Bulls don't use a stretch provision on him, and then he's damaged goods, and it's whoever's going to take a flyer on him like Oladipo. So I think Lonzo Ball is looking at a 1 year, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, gonna have to be in the G League. Maybe his dad will make him his own league again. Who knows? But he definitely is looking like his career is a wrap, donezo. Now we had the NBA draft last night. I think the first pick, for the Spurs was already, guaranteed and all that other stuff. Not gonna bore you going through all the rest of the draft. But that kid from France reminds me a lot of Porzingis, and that's not a good thing. That's not a compliment. I'm really worried about him adjusting to the NBA game. He has a crazy game. I get it. He can shoot three. He's athletic. He can put the ball on the floor and drive and all that other great crap. But that's the same exact kind of hype that Porzingis had coming into New York. Now, Porzingis is nowhere near as athletic as this kid. He's not. I get that part of it. But to me, he reminds me of him as far as how stiff he can be, how high he gets, and he can definitely get into foul trouble easily because you think, oh, I can just drive the ball. In the NBA, they're smart. They're gonna know when you're about to drive the ball. You're like 7'8". Bro, they can see you winding up, making a move towards the basket. I think he's gonna have a lot more issues than people can even imagine. And then last thing I want to just touch on, Coach Prime has been a big news today. He has to have surgery basically due to blood clots and his groin area, as Pat McAfee said. And Deion put out his own video basically saying that, he's gonna have to have surgery, and the clots are in his thigh area. So I think what's important for everyone to know is this surgery sets up another surgery. That's what Coach Prime was trying to talk about. He was saying the worst case scenario is his toes getting cut off, more toes, or his actual foot. That's worst case scenario. He says he does not want that to happen. He feels like it's not going to happen. But in order for that not to happen, they need to straighten out his toes. So if you haven't seen the video, it's on Well Off and it's on Reach the People Media, and they put it out today. So he has dislocated toes again in his foot, and they're starting to become basically what he called hammer toes. What I'm thinking about that is it's becoming distorted and not acting as an actual toe. They need to straighten those toes out. But he is not getting enough blood flow to have a significant surgery on that foot. They need blood flow. The blood flow is your lifeblood, literally. It keeps your limb working the way it's supposed to be. If they have surgery on it and there's no adequate blood flow, that can lead to major complications. So they needed to check him out before they do the toe straightening surgery. Unfortunately, they found blood clots in his groin thigh area, one on his left side, one on his right side. So they're going to have that basically kind of an urgent kind of thing. That's why they scheduled it so fast. You don't want to be walking around with blood clots. And if you remember, these are things that happen to Chris Bosh and people like that. It just take your career just like that. It's nothing to play with. So they scheduled that surgery as fast as they could, which is going to be on today, basically. And they're going to correct those blood clots, get that blood flow going. If they can get that blood right in his foot, then they'll do the subsequent surgery. So this surgery just sets up another one, or procedure, however they want to say it. It seems to be like it's going to be an outpatient thing. I don't know how blood clot surgeries work, but I don't think it's going to be a severe kind of recovery kind of phase. They're going to do that, then do the subsequent surgery on his toes. Hopefully he's up and right and ready to go come the fall, because I'm just super excited about everything that's going on. And he said something so profound. Coach Prime was just saying that, look, you can't expect all these things and not expect, you know, something to attack you. You can't just have all these things going on and think you're not going to go through something. So it was great perspective, and I love hearing him talk, especially about his life. And I love that he shares his life, because it's inspirational to so many people, including myself. So anyway, if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, keep commenting. Please comment respectfully. That'd be great. And I hope y'all have a great day and a great weekend. Heritage Sports.